But it's a very important thing. I need you to give our audience a little bit of the rundown of the Recording Academy, the Grammys, and the Black Music Coalition. How that all,
Collective.
our
Black
collective. I'm
yeah.
sorry. How that all goes together,
Yeah.
and the part that you're playing in that, and how important that is to up and coming and current,
established icons,
creatives
everybody
in this business.
So I'm the vice chairman of the Recording Academy's board of trustees. So, and I'm also the chairman of the Black Music Collective. I always love watching the Grammys. I always felt like this was music's biggest night. Not to sound like cliche, but I just felt like this is
the Super Bowl.
This is it. This is a Super Bowl for us. This is the thing that we can say, wow. And a while ago, I became a member and I joined and I started understanding what it means and how you vote and how this operates. And I used to be as angry with the Recording Academy as everybody else until I realized that these are things, the issues inside the Recording Academy are things that can be fixed. It's just about us coming together, right? If everyone decides that we're gonna walk away from the race, we don't harm or hurt the rest of the people in the race who don't run as fast as us. We help them. They benefit from our absence and participating in certain elements of it. People often say, like, we should fight for our seats at the table. And I'm telling you, we should not fight for our seats at the table. I'm telling you that my ancestors built the table. Their influences, their music, their soul, their energy created this table. Every artist that's done great numbers and great things can always say there was a Black artist that influenced them. This is a fact. So I'm not fighting for a seat. I'm claiming an inheritance that belongs to me, that's owed to me. So when I'm inside the Recording Academy and I'm fighting to make sure that we raise awareness for Black voting members, when I'm chairing the BMC, we're honoring this week we honor Sylvia Rome, Lil Wayne, Missy Elliott, and Dr. Dre. Lil Wayne's speech, he cried because we gave him the Global Impact Award. We didn't give him an award for a song. We didn't give him an award for an album. We said that you globally have impacted the world, your style, your energy, who you are. And that is the awareness that I want to raise. A lot of people say, the Grammys and HE. And I always ask them, how does the Grammys work? I don't know. Every person that says the Grammys, I say, how does it work? I heard people saying, well, this year, I know they ain't going to let her win this year, but next year it's because they blah, blah, the politics today. And I'm like, there's a voting body. And if we make up 85% of this streaming, the best streaming music, but we only make 2% of the voting membership, then how do we expect to be recognized when it's time to vote?
Right.
So what I encourage us all to do is make sure that we become voting members. Now, I don't know when this is going to air, but I will say this. February 15th is when you can start submitting to be a voting member. You go to Grammy.com, you click in that top left corner, tab is going to come down. In the middle is going to say membership. Click on that membership. You get 2 people to co-sign you, to give you letters to speak up for you, right? They don't have to be established artists. They can be anybody. It helps if you know somebody inside the academy, but if you don't, it's okay. And then be active in the music business currently. Every rapper, every R&B artist who has friends in the business, who have an engineer, who has producers, all of those people should be voting members.
Yeah.
When you're up for nomination, or your peers up for nomination, people y'all like and support, they should be able to lean on you and say, hey, vote for me.
Yeah.
Make sure you vote for me.
Yeah.
Because other races and other cultures are doing that. I do believe in the power of what the Recording Academy can do for you. Look at the stream spike for Harry Styles after winning Album of the Year. All right, let's say Anti, even if the streams for The Weeknd even went crazy the day of the Grammys, right? It's an opportunity. The opportunity that's given when you're on that stage and when you win, it means so much for your career. For the rest of your life, you're Grammy Award winning, right? Or even Grammy nominated. It's for the rest of your career. And what it does for us as a people, it makes sure that we're represented on music's highest stage as we should. And I think that people say to us, we should make our own Grammys. They don't treat us right. Let's make our own Grammys. And it's like, as Black people, we've been having to make our own thing after building their thing for too long. I'm not making another one. I made this one. My people made this one, and I want to be represented properly, and I'm going to fight to make sure I am. And look at the changes that have been made. Look at that stage. Look at that front, that whole Lizzo winning the perform. Look at Samara Joy winning Best New Artist.
Yeah.
Think about Beyonce breaking the record on television. Think about last year when you got Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak getting on stage winning award. When you got D Miles getting on stage on television on the telecast winning the award. When you got John Baptiste winning Best Album of the Year. Think about all these things that change. Our faces are being seen. Our energy is being felt. But we just got to keep pushing. We have to keep pushing. And by the way, I'm not saying this because I think the Grammys have gotten it right. I don't want you guys to think that I'm like, the Grammy, I went to the Grammys and it's just an incredible. No, they have not always gotten it right, but they are hungry and starving to get it right. When I'm in the boardrooms, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm around a lot of people that don't look like me. And I'm expecting resistance when I say that this, and I'm not getting it, bro. I'm being very honest with you. And I would say it. There are white people in that room that says, Rico, tell us what needs to happen. You closer to it. What needs to happen? Can we sit down with blah, blah, blah? You think they'll come? You think they'll show up? And I ask artists a lot to show up. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
What don't you like? Let's fix it. Let's figure out how to do it because a lot has changed. Now, a complete change is not going to happen all at once.
Right.
But if we become voting members, people from the outside looking in, the people in the comment section, they always going to have their whole conspiracy theories about whatever exists. But for those of us who are actually in the business, and I don't mean major label. You don't have to be major recording artist to be a voting member.
No.
You just have to meet the release requirements. You meet those release requirements and you're active. You get in front of that membership board and you will be a member. You vote every time it comes up. We sit on social media all day. Right. Grab that phone when the voting comes up and you vote for the people that you agree and believe should win, and you be a voice for the people who aren't getting the visibility. PJ Morton has 4 Grammys.
Yeah.
My man Jay
independently.
My man Jay Ivy just won Best Spoken Word Album, and he was on the Tennessee State University album. So I look at those things and I say to myself, these are people who don't have national recognition, #1 records.
Robert
Glasper. They're in those rooms, and they're going to be tough, even with the whole situation when they were like, why is Chris Brown and Robert Glasper in the same category? You have to understand that there are rooms put together for people to debate on how these things go and try to understand. And they're trying to figure things out.
We can make adjustments.
And they have to make adjustments. But then sometimes you got to understand, if you're not in that room and knowing what they were up against, what if they were trying to put Glasper in Best Jazz? And he was like, but it's not a jazz record. And Jazz say, we don't think it's jazz. And what if he was trying to put him in this category and they say, it doesn't work this way? You never know the situation. Yeah. Either way, if there are changes that need to be made and things you don't agree with, staying on the outside is not going to answer it. The problem is going to be solved if we get involved. Yeah. And I have such a voice in the building, and they respected my voice. Think about this. As a Black man, I served as a governor in the Florida chapter for 1 term. I was elected to the National Board of Trustees after 1 term. After 1 term serving as a trustee, I'm now the vice chairman of the Recording Academy. What does that mean? That means that these people heard me, they felt my energy, and they trusted that I had the best interest of the Recording Academy. And every day I speak up for African Americans, for people of color, for women, and they do not bat an eye. I don't get resistance. I don't get people saying, man, I don't know. I go in there and we fight and we make things happen, and change has to happen over time. I just think that people should recognize all of the change that is happening. Understand that there's a lot more change that needs to happen, but I need you all to come. So as the chair of the BMC, and I'm going to end it here, as the chair of the BMC, my goal is to make sure that we will travel this country, do many outreach events, reach out to executives, independent artists, independent A&R. If you want to be a manager, if you want to study in music in some way, we want to reach out our hand to you and build a relationship with you. And we want to make sure that the voting body reflects the music that's being created and being produced, that the people that vote look like us and understand where we come from, and can relate to us. Jazmine Sullivan getting on that stage last year on television is major. That's an incredible look for a soul artist who's never had a pop hit.
Right.
Who's had hits, records, strong records, but didn't cross her music over. She didn't compromise who she was as a creative in order to get a Grammy or to sell 1 million records. She got up on that stage and won. That has to show you that the tides are turning and things are changing. And I want to be a part of that change, but I also want you to be a part of that change with me. And I want you to be a part of that change with me. And I want us to be able to speak up. Because either way, we're going to speak up, right? Either way, we're going to talk about what we don't like, right?
Absolutely.
Why don't we talk from the inside and say, let's change it?
Yeah.
And if I feel like I'm in that place, and I give you guys my word, if I ever felt like I was in that space and I felt like nobody was respecting the change that I wanted to see, I would be out. I would walk away from it.
Mm.
But that's not what I'm seeing. That's not what I'm feeling. I'm feeling a lot of love and a lot of people who are just expressing and admitting to the certain ignorances that they may have about our culture. But they all recognize the influence that we've had on the world. And if they didn't, I wouldn't be involved. Because you already know what type of time I'm always on. I'm always about us. I'm always about the culture.
Amen.
Wow.
Rico Love.
Wow. No, man. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Quite simply said, man. Thank you for being here, and
Nah, we appreciate you, bro.
thank you for that. Thank
I
you.
appreciate it, man.
You listen. You got me excited.
Tank ready.
You know what I'm saying? You got me.
Come on,
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
Tank ready. He want a
Come on,
chair.
man.
Yeah,
Tank want a chair.
Between you and Harvey, man, I want a chair. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, let me
yes,
get in here.
yes.
Let's talk. But I mean, the key thing you said is that let's be the change.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get in here, and because the doors aren't closed to us.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part that we all miss. I think
Mm-hmm.
the doors are open to
It's
us.
available.
They're
It's
available.
available. It's available.
You really want to get in here and do something.
Mm-hmm.
The R&B Money podcast family, the R&B Money family, we're getting involved.
Absolutely. And we support the BMC.
Yes.
100%.
So I suggest we do an event here in LA. We invite all musicians, all music creatives. We make it a whole BMC R&B Money collaboration. We do something very sexy and fly, and we bring people together, and then we pick out the top 2 or 3 incredibly talented artists who are on the verge,
Yeah.
who are coming up.
Mhm.
We allow them to perform. We talk to them, and we educate them about the process and what the Recording Academy represents, and how we invest in artists, and how we make sure we protect artists with our Music Cares program, how we protect artists with our advocacy work. Believe it or not, the Grammys is a nonprofit organization.
Mhm.
This is not they're not making a ton of money and banking money. We're giving money every year to music creators who need it. If a person is got a bad heart and they don't have insurance, but
Now,
they
you
do
can get
music
it.
full
You can
time,
get it.
they come to Music Cares, and we're gonna take care of them. So when you say Grammys, you saying all the millions of dollars we've donated to helping other people without asking anything in return and without turning anybody away. So that show that we do is great. When you see us at the BMC Honors with our tuxes and we looking fly and y'all showing up for that, that's great. But everybody who showed up, I'm asking you to do the work.
Mhm.
Everybody begged me for tickets for BMC this year. Everybody's trying to be on the list next year already. All I'm saying is show up for the artists and show up for ourselves as Black creatives and make sure that we do the work. It's something I'm super passionate about. This
Yeah.
is nothing you can fake. The time that we spent doing this stuff is genuine, because I'm an artist and I'm a creative, and I believe in creatives, and I believe in developing and teaching and growing and holding our hand out there. And by the way, they support me 100%.
Yeah.
So
Let's do that.
let's
Love
do
it.
it. Let's
do it.
create the R&B Money BMC collaboration event, and we bring people there and we educate them on the Recording Academy. We have a dialogue like this, and we allow artists to come up and perform
Let's do it.
and
Done.
give the voting members an opportunity to see
To
them. Now
see them.
imagine
Yeah.
if you're in a room full of Grammy voting members
Yeah.
and you perform and they're like, I remember you.
Yeah.
So now when your name shows up on that ballot,
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
are like, oh, I remember Shorty.
Yeah.
She was at the joint.
Yeah.
I like her album. Let me check this out. Let me vote for her. That's
Love it.
that's as simple. Let's do that. Let's make sure we make a.
You already know how we get down.
Yes.
If we say yeah,
Let's do
it's
it.
it's done.
Let's do it.
We in. We
Yeah.
in.
Wow.
Let's make that happen.
Grey Goose, help us.
Mr. Call him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, amazing, creative, amazing human being. You like a brother to us, man.
Yeah,
You're a
absolutely.
loved one,
Real,
man.
real.
So loving to hear the mountaintops and the valley lows, and more mountaintops and more
Yeah,
valley
man.
lows. You know what I'm saying?
It's life.
Yeah.
It's life, man. And I think that people really need to hear that and know that it's okay to go through that.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's another day.
Mm-hmm.
Jay always say, this is like the lottery, right? And doing music is like the
A
lottery.
lot of it.
You could write you one song, be broke yesterday and tomorrow.
Change everything.
Jeez.
What Glorilla say? Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
But tomorrow.
But tomorrow. So we thank you for everything, man. And that is a big thank you, man. That encompasses the entire universe of who and what you are.
Thank you
We
so much.
appreciate you, man. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tank.
I'm Jay Valentine.
And this is the R&B Money Podcast, the authority on
Yeah.
all things R&B
Yeah.
and Rico Love, man.